say your favorite part of New York City is? You know, it's kind of a difficult question. Do you have a specific aspect or location or place to go to?
Well, my favorite spot then or now?
Either or both.
At the time I lived in the Village was 1969, so it was just like beautiful. I mean, you could see everybody there. You could see Hendrix walking down the street. You could see Bob Dylan. You could see just about everybody. Clothes were amazing. Music was amazing. I lived right around the corner from the Fillmore East. I saw so many shows around there. Lived 3 doors down from a place called the Electric Circus, which they used to have big concerts in and all that stuff. So the Village at the time was happening for me. I loved the Village. Now, I still like going down there. I still like the vibe. I love going and hanging in the Village, you know, and stuff. But I like visiting New York City for about 3 or 4 days, you know, at a time. My lady and I, we had our first date here in New York City, you know, and we went to eat sushi and took a walk. I think we walked around one block about 4 or 5 times, you know, just yakking and talking. So New York City is really special in that way. Actually, I love to visit New York more than I really like visiting LA. I don't know why. I mean, LA's warmer, you know, so forth. But I think the difference between it is I find that I like the kindredness with the people of New York, and nothing against the people of LA, you know, but I got more of a kindred thing with.
Do you ride the subways in New York still?
Hmm?
Do you ride the subways still, or in the city, or?
No, I don't. No, I quit riding the subway a long time ago. You know, I remember we were up here and I was in the Village at Easter time, and it was cold and we were hungry, and I had just enough money to take a subway back from, you know, Manhattan back down to the Village. And I remember, you know, I got out of the subway, you know, at the Village and stuff like that. Man, it was snowing. It was just like, you know, here I am, a Florida boy with no sunshine, and it's snowing all over the place. I'm freezing to death, you know. But hey, it's all a part of being there, you know. It's all a part of feeling that vibe. And I guess looking at myself now, I've come a long way.
I feel the spirit in my soul. There's something, Lord, I can't control. I'm never giving up while I'm still breathing.
You say if you can remember the 60s, you weren't really there. Not that I was there.
Let me tell you, and I could go into this all day. You might like to hear the stories, and maybe you wouldn't. I saw everybody from Elvis. When I was almost 7 years old, I saw Elvis at Florida Theater when Elvis was really the king. He had himself and 3 guys behind him playing. It was a rockabilly band. I saw him then, and I saw him before he died. I saw the Beatles. I saw Hendrix. I saw Zeppelin. I saw the Cream. I saw everybody. Why? Because they were $3.50 to get in, or $5 to get in, or whatever. I lived in some really, really incredibly magical times when it came to music. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to pay $150 to see him. I didn't have to pay $150 to see Jimi Hendrix. I saw Hendrix open for the Monkees. You're looking at a guy that was at the original Woodstock. I was there for 4 days. I mean, I have seen some incredible things go down in this country. I really have. I've lived through them, and I've seen them, and I'm not doing too bad for 59.
But I'm not home, I'm not lost, still holding on to what I got. Ain't much left, Lord, there's so much that's been stolen.
Talking about Freebird, it's one of the most iconic rock and roll songs of all time. It frequently makes the top 1 or 2 lists of greatest solos, greatest rock songs. Did you catch the movie by Rob Zombie, Devil's Rejects?
Yeah.
There's that scene in the end with the whole shootout. Do you get sick of playing it, and you know every night you know what your encore is going to be? And also, how do you feel about its significance in the greater American culture?
Well, I think Lynyrd Skynyrd in the greater American culture is probably America's rock band. True rock band, you I don't think, and I agree with some other people, I mean, yeah, we're from the South, but the stigma of being a Southern rock band, I think it's a true American rock band, you know. The thing about playing Freebird every night, Freebird takes on its own little characteristics different every night. Maybe the audience can't tell it, but we can. I play that ending solo every night, non-stop. I play it for over 7.5, almost 8 minutes. You know, that's steady going. One of the greatest compliments I ever had. I played that solo at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and when we left the stage, I had a guy come over to me and say, "I got somebody over here that wants to meet you." And I said, "Okay," and I go over, and the gentleman stood up, very tall guy, Brian May of Queen.
Wow.
And one of the guys that I used to just like, I was in awe of, you know. And he goes, "My daughter is such a fan of Lynyrd Skynyrd and loves Freebird." He says, "I have to see the hands that just played that 8-minute solo straight." And I went, "You know what? Hell with that. I want to see the hands that played all that Queen stuff." That was brilliant. And we just kind of got a good laugh out of it. And Brian and I kind of became friends. As a matter of fact, I got one of his guitars. He sent me one of his made guitars that he has made, you know, and stuff like that. Probably the greatest compliment probably one of the greatest compliments I ever got, you know, from a colleague, you know, was that. I try to play Freebird. I try to keep something fresh about it all the time. I add a little bit of my own nuance to it, you know, that Alan, I take off from what Alan did and try to add a little bit of myself into it every night. I mean, you saw it, you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
And I pretty well go nuts on the, you know, on the guitar. And that's a heavy duty solo to play all the way through every night. And the song's about 14 minutes long, so, you know. what do you want, you know what I mean? But it's cool, man. It's a lot of fun.
Song "Simple Man." It's actually been very heavily covered. I don't know if you know familiar with the band, the Deftones do a great version of it. The guys in Shinedown, I was gonna say. Do you have any personal attachment to that song? It's clearly a deeply personal song.
First of all, I was in rehearsal when it was written, so I remember, because I was a member of Skynyrd, you know, in the early years and stuff. I played drums with them at the time. I was a good drummer. I wasn't a great drummer. I was a better guitar player than I was a drummer. But I was there the day that Ronnie stood up and got on the microphone and sang it. I can remember that. It was my ma's favorite song by Lynyrd Skynyrd, and now that she's passed on, it's pretty well has a real special meaning to me. The lyrics are special anyway. It's probably one of my favorite songs other than Tuesday's Gone to play in the show. I love playing that tune. And I also love playing Needle and Spoon because I get to do the wah-wah work in it and stuff like that. And I was a big Hendrix nut and learned how to use a wah-wah, not play with a wah-wah, but to use it. How to really use it effectively to where it would talk to you. You know what I mean? And I've gotten a lot of great compliments on how I use a wah-wah pedal from a lot of different guitar players and stuff like that, you know, and I found that's pretty cool. And all it came from was watching Hendrix do it. And I got a chance to see him up close and personal, watched him do it, you know, and it was really pretty cool. But I think Simple Man is one of the parts in the show that I really enjoy, not only because of the song, I love the song, but Gary and I get to do the dual lead together like he and Alan did. And Gary and I play that so good together. It was like it was made, you know, it was really made for us, you know. And it's a great honor and really special to me.
I'm still alone.